What up, boys? It's Gaz, and welcome to the WARFRAME video. So, that dev stream like 3 days ago. I watched it after it came out, and I thought I analyzed it pretty well, but actually, if you look at every single frame of that dev stream, you could have pulled the Tonora Prime stats out of there, and it's actually leading to some thoughts I've had about the new Prime weapons coming out, the Pandero and the Tonora Prime, which are coming out on February 23rd, by the way, with Octavia Prime. So we'll be going over that and how they might potentially be weaker than the non-Prime versions if you include Rivens. We're also going to show the Tonora Prime stats, so make sure you are subbed to this channel and make sure you hit that like button and comment down how you feel about, because I got an opinion on this stuff. As surprising, literally no one, I have an opinion on this, and I feel like it could be treated better, and it might be time for some changes with Rivens. I mean, duh, but we'll talk about it anyway, okay? So, let's get into it, guys. All right, so Tonora Prime. Let's start off with just showing the Tonora Prime stats. If you put the stream at 0.25 speed, you could find this screenshot right here. They were about to show the Octavia Prime Cyan data, and then they went to the Arsenal for like a brief moment. They did not show the Pandero Prime. Trust me, they did not show the Pandero Prime. We had the best investigators on the case. And, you know, they drank a lot of coffee and ate a lot of donuts, and they did not find the Pandero Prime. We found the Tonora Prime, okay? So if you look at this, we got 30% crit chance, 2.2 multiplier, 12 fire rate, a 200-round magazine, 2.5 reload, 24% status. It's mostly puncture-focused, with impact and slash being equally weighted underneath puncture. And then the secondary fire has 40% crit chance, with a 0.8 charge rate, and then it's got 3x critical multiplier with a 10 fire rate, 200 round magazine, and then it has some innate punch through and 20% stash chance. We cannot see the damage of the secondary fire, and it is also speculated that there is a serration mod maxed out on this thing right now. Someone on Reddit actually did a comparison of stats, taking into account they might have a maxed out serration on here, and here's the numbers that they came up with. So thank you for that comparison on Reddit, whoever did the math for me. So here's the buffs between the Tenora Normal and the Tonora Prime, as far as we can tell from this picture. And keep in mind, you cannot see all these stats for the secondary fire, but it's speculated they will have the same base damage. So we've got increased magazine by 50 rounds. So it goes from a 150 round magazine to a 200 round magazine. Still lower than the Soma Prime, which I believe has 300. And the Soma Prime is slash focused, so, you know, there is that. But although you can notice this thing has double the damage per bullet compared to the Soma Prime. 24 base damage in the Tonora Prime versus the Soma Prime having 12. And then going through the rest of the buffs, it's got increased fire rate compared to the normal one. Only one more fire rate, but still that is a buff, technically. 2% more crit chance, so it goes from 28% to 30%. And a slightly higher crit multiplier as well, at 2.2 versus 2x. It does get a sizable status chance upgrade, going from 16 to 24. So that's good, but then again, it is puncture focused. So is that going to really be a big deal? Because, you know, puncture procs don't really do anything, honestly. And here's what I want to get into, okay? The last couple of things, there a crit buff on the secondary shot as well, and a status buff on the secondary as well. So good stuff there. Probably will do about 240 damage, which is 10 times the damage of the primary shot, 24 versus 240. So, all right. Now here's why I think it will not be as good. And it's an actual multi-layer facet here, if you include Rivens. So let's look at this Riven, this random one I got, Tenora Krita Vexidra. Haven't rolled it, haven't tried to get it like God tier or anything like that. It's got electric damage, fire rate, critical chance, minus damage to infested. Not a terrible Riven, honestly. It has some pretty good stuff going on here. This weapon has 3-dot dispo, and the behind-the-scenes stats on that 3-dot dispo is actually going to be 1.1, slightly above neutral. 3 dots starts at neutral, which this is the behind-the-scenes multiplier on the stats of this Riven. If this weapon ever got nerfed, or if the Rivens ever got nerfed, the stats on this mod right here, looking at, would go down. And when new weapons come out, it will have 0.5 disposition. It will be under half the amount of stats this is providing in some situations. Let's try to show a good example of that somewhere here. here's one of the best examples I actually have. I don't remember what the disposition of the Aximati is, but this is a great one right here. Okay, the Aximati Prime has lower stat Rivens compared to the Aximati Normal, and you'll see a sizable difference. So on the Aximati Normal, we've got 191% multi-shot, 250.1% crit chance. Then I switch the Aximati Prime. I lose nearly 50% multi-shot and a bunch of crit chance too, 60% crit chance. The upgrades between these two weapons are not sizable enough to make up for 50% multi-shot and that big chunk of crit chance, in my opinion. Let's just take a quick look at the Aximati and the Aximati Prime. And I'm looking at the stats of this Tonora Prime, and we can't see the Pandero, but I think the Pandero will be a similar situation. So here are the Aximati Normal, and then we'll show the Aximati Prime. So this is exactly what I'm talking about. This will be a very similar situation. Increased fire rate by a little bit. Hardly even noticeable. Increased magazine. More status chance. And then it does 2 more damage. This is going to be exactly what it's like, guys. And the kill times on this thing, honestly, the Aximati Normal probably is better when you include Rivens. If you don't include Rivens, like, sure, you can just use the new one because it has better stats. But I really feel like I feel like enough is enough. Like, we need to get the Rivens. We need a middle ground. They changed it from being neutral disposition off the bat to 0.5 off the bat. I feel like that is just it kills all the hype for new weapons. Like, there's people hoarding Tenora Rivens, hoarding Pandero Rivens. Like, it's a lot of people are going to be disappointed. It's going to be like the worst. Like, you're waiting for your birthday to come out. You're not actually. You're getting. You're going to get the discount Batman to show up. It's not actually Batman coming to your birthday party. It's like, you can obviously tell us your uncle in a costume. You know what I mean? Like, that's probably a really bad comparison. But, you know, this Pandero Riven right here, it's going to have under half the stats. We're going to be looking at probably 90% damage, 45% cold, and then 40-something% crit damage. Like, yikes, dude. Actual yikes. You know, here's a great comparison. The Zakti and the Zakti Prime. This is the best comparison right here. Okay, so I look at my Riven on my Zakti Prime, because this is a new Prime weapon. On the Zakti Prime, I have minus 45% impact, 42% status chance, 46% heat, 101% damage. And then we go to the Zakti Normal. This Riven becomes 10 times better on the normal version. It has 100% minus impact, and then double the 254% damage, over double the amount of damage. This is what's going to happen when this comes out. And I think enough is enough. It's killing the hype for the new Prime weapons Rivens-wise. Because, like it or not, Rivens are definitely dictating some of the hype on these new weapons, guys. And I forgot to put the gameplay on the screen, but that's okay. It's not even related gameplay to this anyway. I feel like someone needs to give. The new Kuva Lich weapons, if there's a new Kuva Lich Archiplasmor, well, might as well not even bother having a Riven for it. It will not have good Rivens, probably ever, or for not multiple years, because they only do a dispo pass every 3 to 4 months usually, and yeah, they buff them a good chunk nowadays, but who even knows it will give it a buff in the first place? The amount of fun we're having compared to back in the day when things were a lot stronger Riven wise has gone on the toilet. I know a lot of people who are into Rivens I think most of them have just left at this point, to be honest, because of how mistreated Rivens are in this game, and as someone that does enjoy them as well, I know a lot of the parts of it sucks. I know that for a fact. But I feel like so much plat is spent buying Rivens in this game. Why are they so neglected? I know it turned into another Riven rant video, guys, but seriously, why are they so neglected? It is such a important part of the economy of this game and the end game. What else are you going to chase in the end game? Plat number go up? Making sure you got maxed out Prime mods, that only lasts for so long. Plat number go up lasts for a long time, to be fair, but Rivens are one of those things that just are nearly endless, and you can customize lots of stuff. You're only limited by slots, really. So, you know, we'll see how this shakes up on day one. I'm pretty much telling you right now, though, that the Tenora and the Pandora Rivens are not going to be as anywhere near as strong on the Prime versions compared to the normal versions, and it might end up being a situation. It'll probably be a situation where the normal versions are stronger if you're including a Riven, which is really, really stupid in my opinion. So, my solution would be let's meet at 0.75 dispo. The the disposition of the Tenora and the Pandora is 1.1. And honestly, like 0.75 is not too big of a deal. All new weapons have 0.75 dispo, so it's not like the Stropha has 0.5 rivens and will never go up. That kind of situation. Maybe they'll at least be worth slotting, because the thing is, as well, a lot of times these 0.5 disposition rivens are not even worth slotting, even with like a nearly god roll. I sold a guy a CC CD minus finisher Guandao Riven a couple weeks ago. That's probably as worse than Gladiator Might on his build, honestly, to be completely honest. So it feels bad, and it makes people waste their plat even more than they normally would on Rivens. So I'll talk to you guys next time. Hope you found this video helpful and thought-provoking. Let me know how you feel about this, because honestly, this has been a problem for a while. It really has. Ever since they made that stupid change, I feel like they're too proud to turn around on the 0.5 disposition Rivens thing, and I don't know if anyone even agrees with it. It's like, oh, well, I don't want to feel obligated to run Rivens. You're not obligated to run Rivens. If they're too strong, you feel like you're obligated to run them. Well, you know what? They're not for everybody. You don't need Rivens to beat this game. You don't need Rivens to do Eidolons. You don't need Rivens to do level 10,000 endurance. You don't need any of it. But they're here. They're here, so we should be able to at least have fun with them, is my personal opinion. And yeah, it's a player-controlled market. So anything market-wise that happens in the background, you should be mad at DE for allowing that to happen if you think it's a big deal. Okay? I'll talk to you guys next time. Take it easy and peace.